From 1992 and the creation of this idea of local Agenda 21s, many communities all over the world, 2012 study showed that there are more than 10,000 local Agenda 21 initiatives. Sometimes we call those sustainable community plans instead. But how do we implement them? What's working, what's not working? What is improving? Which design features of the implementation process lead to better outcomes? And that's where this research comes in. So it's very much focused on not the content of what goes into the plan, but once you have a great plan, how do you implement it? And this research project is focused at the local level. We first started looking at this initiative of sustainable community plans in Canada. And from the Canadian study and what we learned there, we then launched an international study in partnership with ICLEI, Local Governments for Sustainability, where we've been looking at these local Agenda 21s or equivalent around the world to see what structural features are working, how many partners are engaged. And that data, that research has been telling us that structure is absolutely important. These initiatives that are happening at the local level, the first stage is that the partnership is forming. Then they form a strategic plan together, which we call a collaborative strategic plan. Following that, the implementation phase happens, and ultimately you reach the outcomes. My current work is really around the structuring of that implementation, focused on the implementation and the outcome phases. When I talk about structure of a partnership, I'm particularly thinking about 5 key features. And we've looked at 6 different types of outcomes, though now I study only 3 in more depth. We've been sharing the results. So right now we're gearing up for the UN Habitat 3 conference, which will happen in Quito, Ecuador, sharing these results to help tie it to the implementation of the new urban agenda. Where we're going next is we're starting to look more at climate action plans. So since the Paris Agreement, there have been, thankfully, a strong wave of interest in revitalizing what's happening at the local level in terms of climate action. And part of that implementation, again, is going to need to be through partnerships. So we've been looking at climate action plans and how they're being implemented through a partnership approach.